Pastor Mark Biltz here from Shaddai Ministries. Thank you again so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe and share. Also, please like this video, and we would love to hear your comments. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, what's the Torah portion today? Hukat, and Hukat means statute. Okay. How many of you know this is all about the red heifer, the ashes of the red heifer? When would that be used? When someone's dead and you had to go bury a loved one, and now you've encountered death, and now death is going to be defeated. Okay, so this whole Torah portion is about the ashes of the red heifer and a few other things we'll touch on. But encountering death was always contaminating, and one had to be cleansed before entering the temple. This is why they had the big mikveh pools where people could immerse themselves or be baptized before they would go up into the temple, right? Well, what's amazing, here they're killing all of these animals in the temple for sacrifices, but we have to understand it wasn't about their death, it was about their life. Now, here's something. Well, let me just go to Numbers 19 first, our first notes, verse 1 and 2. Then I'm going to bring something up. It says, the Lord spoke unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, this is the ordinance of the law. Okay, and there is chukat there, which the Lord has commanded, saying, speak to the children of Israel that they bring you a what? A red heifer. But it can't just be any red heifer. It has to be without spot, has no blemish, and it's never had a yoke put on it. So I've got our little red heifer here. And one of the interesting things about this, there are different words for law in the Torah. Chukat is one of those laws that doesn't make sense. In other words, when your parents tell you to do something as a child and you don't understand it, doesn't make sense, what did they say? Just do it. Okay. Well, the law of the red heifer is one of those because it seems bizarre. You kill a specific kind of cow. You burn it to ashes. You mix it with water. You sprinkle it all over you. I mean, this sounds like voodoo. I mean, it's just strange. So what is going on? And they say the whole concept of the ashes of the red heifer is hard to be understood. Well, let me show you some things. When you think of the reason why this particular way of cleansing someone, does anyone have any ideas why it was this instead of something who knows what? Well, I'm going to show you some things in the Hebrew. You don't see in English, but you only see in the Hebrew. This is, when was the first death? This is all about death. When was the first death recorded in the Bible? Cain and Abel. Okay. Well, the word ha-adamah means ground. In Genesis, God created man from ha-adamah, the ground, which tells us, you know what's interesting? The closest language to Hebrew is the chemical language, because every letter is also a number. It's a word. And do you know, chemically, the Hebrew word here tells you everything you need to know about humans. Because ha is the, I have the word the above that letter ha, means the, and adamah is ground. And how many of you know we're made from dirt? So right here, this tells us we're made from dirt. And guess what? Adam is Adam's name. Adam, mankind, comes from dirt. And Adam is made up of how many letters? 3. And we're made up of body, soul, and spirit. Aleph is the first letter, which represents God's name, Elohim, Adonai. So we see we're a 3-part being made in God's image. We come from dirt. And what else? Dom is blood. And man has blood. Without blood, we don't have life. And guess what else? I have it also, since that's the same word down below. The mem or mayim means water. How many of you know we're like 60% water? And guess what else? Ed, the first two letters of Adam, ed means a vapor, a wind that passes away. So right in the very word Adam, we see we're made from dirt, we're made of blood and water, we're a tripart being made in God's image, and we're a wind and a vapor that will pass away. All of that is right there in that word. Well, here, the para aduma is the red heifer. Para is cow or heifer, and that same word that is ground is red. It means red. So I find it very interesting, too. When Cain killed Abel, the voice of your brother's blood is crying from the ground. And blood is red. And so we have a red heifer that is supposed to remind us of death. We just encountered death. And this is the antidote. When you think about it, the first time when you were little, more than likely is when this happened, you went to a funeral or you encountered death of some kind. Maybe the death of a pet. Maybe the death of a person. And it was shocking. But what happens if you're a funeral director after 1,000 funerals? What does death do to you? And after all the TV murders you watch on TV, what does death? You're desensitized. We have become like the frog in the boiling water. We're desensitized to death. The purpose of the red heifer was to shock you. Can you imagine having blood and water thrown all over you with ashes? It's to wake us up to realize what has happened. Here's this cow turning completely to ashes. Then the ashes absorbed into the water, and then it's sprinkled all over you with the rest of the ritual we'll look at. But I think a lot of this is to keep us sensitive to the value of life.